Well, good morning, sports fans. It's week 4 of high school and college football. Today, Laura has joined us again as our analyst of college football.
Oh, yeah.
If you notice, Jimmy's gone. He's on vacation, and his record is going to take a major hit today. So we'll see what goes on.
I know Jim would want me to be his stand-in.
He would.
I know Jim would want my picks to be his picks.
He would.
So, yeah.
I guarantee it.
I'm sure.
He has full trust in you, Laura.
That's what happens when you go to Arizona wine country during the football season.
First up, we got Maize South at campus. Maize South is going to be too strong in this game. I'm taking Maize South.
Maize South.
Next, we got Southeast and Liberal. Southeast is struggling here a little bit. Liberal struggling, but I'm going to take the hometown team. They're playing in Wichita. I'm taking Southeast.
I'll pick Liberal.
Next up is North and South. North just can't seem to get it together to get their first win. I think South is going to be too strong. I'm taking South.
I agree, South.
We got Bishop Carroll and Dodge City. Bishop Carroll's coming off a loss to Derby, but Derby's number 1 in 6A. Bishop Carroll hung with them. I think they're going to be too strong for Dodge City, so I'm taking the Golden Eagles.
Bishop Carroll.
Then we got Ark City and Maize. I don't think Ark City's won a game yet. The game's in Maize. I'm taking the Eagles.
Maize looks good. So even if Ark City looked a little better, I'd still pick Maize, but Maize.
Eisenhower and Andover. This is probably going to be a pretty good game for the week. But Andover is playing really strong. I'm taking the Trojans.
Andover.
Next up, we got Derby and Salina South. This isn't going to be a game. Salina South hasn't won a game, so I'm absolutely taking Derby.
Yeah, Derby's still one of the best teams in the state, so Derby.
Then we have Andover Central at Goddard. Goddard's having an off year. Sorry about that, Jordan. But Andover Central, I think, is number 2 in 4A right now. So I'm absolutely taking Andover Central.
Andover Central.
This game here is kind of a toss-up. Salina Central and Valley Center both are playing pretty equal to each other by looking at the records, but I'm going to take the Hornets of Valley Center.
Yeah, Valley Center hasn't done me too bad so far, so Valley Center.
Next is Hutch and Newton. I think this is going to be a really good game. Newton has had a really tough schedule, but they've played some really good teams pretty close. Hutch predominantly is usually a pretty good team. I think they're down a little bit this year, but I'm still going to take Hutch.
I'm going to take Newton.
Next, we have West and Heights. I think this will be a pretty good game, but I think Heights is going to be too strong.
West. We're going to try to,
second page
get
of
a
this.
divide here
Yeah, there you
between
go.
you and Jim.
There you go. Great Bend and Capon. Capon's playing really, really well, and they're going to be one of those teams contending for the City League, so I'm taking Capon.
Yep, Colonel White made sure to text all of us last week. His daughter attends Capon to inform us Capon beat Northwest, and I should have picked Capon, so I'll pick him this week.
Yeah, I end up taking Northwest as well. I think all three of us did. So next is East and Northwest. As you mentioned, Northwest is coming off of a loss. It's the first 2-loss season in a while, and so we have a captain here. Her grandson plays for Northwest. He's doing really well, but they need to pick it up a little bit if they're going to compete. So, but I'm still going to take Northwest.
As I said before we started, what would Jim do here? And, I feel like he would take East, right? So he'd take Northwest, but I'm going to take East.
Next up is Mulvane and Circle. This is actually going to be a pretty good game for the first time in several years. Circle is actually winning some football games. So Mulvane's won a few games. I think they're 2-1, I think, or 3-1.
They've only lost to Andale, I believe.
Yeah. So, but I'm still taking Mulvane in this game.
Yeah, it's funny. Mulvane's where I graduated from. Circle's actually the school district we currently live in. We plan to move to Andover. Mulvane. No, I'm picking Mulvane regardless.
Next up, we got Cheney and Hugoton. Cheney's playing really well, but they are on the road to Hugoton, but I'm taking the Cardinals of Cheney.
I'll pick Cheney. Actually, one of my closest friends from law school went to Hugoton, so I know a little bit about it. But Cheney, Tim's not in here to look at us, but I feel his glare. So Cheney.
Clearwater and Trinity. Clearwater is lost to Rose Hill pretty big, which kind of surprised me, but I think they'll roll over Trinity on this weekend.
I'll pick Clearwater.
Next up, we have Heston and Collegiate. Collegiate, I believe, is ranked number 2 or 3 in 3A. They're undefeated. I'm taking Collegiate.
Collegiate.
Then we have Halstead and Andale. Andale's number 1 in 3A. No one's really gotten close to him yet. So I'm sticking with Andale. They're on a roll.
Yeah, complete shocker. I mean, it's not their normal, right? So Andale.
So next up is Douglas and Garden Plain. Garden Plain's coming off of a hard loss to Cheney, which is they're about 4 miles away, so it's a big rivalry. But I'm taking Garden Plain in this game.
I'll pick Douglas. Why not?
Next up, we have Stanton County and Sedgwick. I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of Stanton County, so I'm taking Sedgwick.
Yeah, this seems to be the theme of picking the Sedgwick games. Is you've not heard of the teams they're playing. So, like it was Southeast Cherokee, it's Sedgwick.
Yeah. And it's worked for us so far.
Yeah.
Sedgwick is playing well. So, in college this week, we got Texas Tech and Texas. Texas is just bad. I'm going to take Texas Tech in this game.
It'll be an interesting game. Texas Tech has done all right this season. It's kind of exciting now that we're getting into conference play. I'm going to pick Texas Tech as well, mainly just because of how I feel about Texas.
Next up, we got SMU and TCU. This is probably going to be a pretty good game. Kind of a toss-up, but I'm taking the Horned Frogs.
Yes, yeah. This is always a good game. I'm going to take TCU as well.
Next, we have Iowa State at Baylor. I'm taking Iowa State. I think they're the stronger team. Baylor in the second half against KU actually looked pretty decent, so it could be a better game than I think, but I'm still taking Iowa State.
I'm taking Iowa State.
Next, we have Kansas and Duke. For the first time, I had picked Kansas last week. They were in the game in the first half, 14-7, and they got blown away in the second half. I doubt I'll be taking Kansas any more this year. So I'm taking Duke.
And one of their top running backs just entered the transfer portal, so it could really affect the rest of their year.
It could affect it.
Yeah, I'm picking Duke.
This is a game that I think could be a very good game. West Virginia and Oklahoma. West Virginia upset Virginia Tech last week. Virginia Tech was ranked. Virginia Tech started off the season not looking so great. Oklahoma is absolutely overrated. That was shown last week playing the bottom rung Big Ten team called Nebraska. But it's in Oklahoma, so I'm going to take Oklahoma. But this is an upset alert right here.
Yeah, it's always fun to sit there and watch. I should have picked West Virginia. I didn't. I'm picking Oklahoma solely because I want Oklahoma to win this weekend so that they don't have any vengeance for the next weekend, which is when K-State plays them.
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, we got Kansas State and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State actually beat Boise State last week, which kind of surprised me. They've been kind of not playing so well. K-State's playing without their quarterback, but end up beating Nevada pretty handily at the end. I'm taking K-State over Oklahoma State, even though it's in Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Last I checked, Oklahoma State was favored to win. I'm going to pick K-State. One, they're my team, but two, the defense looks really good. The running game looked awesome. We just need to figure out probably some passing offense, and then hopefully Skylar comes back in a couple weeks.
Hopefully so.
Yes.
And the last game, which really means nothing,
Oh.
especially since Jim's not here,
Oh,
but
geez.
Nebraska and Michigan State. And Nebraska was in the game last week, and it's not because they were playing a team that is over-dominating, because Oklahoma's not this year. They play Michigan State. They don't stand a chance, in my opinion. They'll be 1-4 or 1-5, whatever they normally are at this time of year. So I'm taking Michigan State.
Yeah, I was really kind of hoping Oklahoma would just completely crush Nebraska. That would have just been very satisfying, and they didn't, so very disappointed in Oklahoma. It's, kind of fun. Jim's not here to add anything positive about Nebraska. It's also kind of not fun, but
Yeah.
Nebraska is just, unless they, I don't know their schedule, play Rutgers or Maryland or something this year, it's just going to be another down year. So Michigan State.
Yeah. So, well, that's our picks for the week. We hope you enjoy the show, and the weather's going to be great for football tomorrow night, so it won't be scorching hot. So get out there and support your kids, and have a great weekend.